Alright. It's like nothing ever happened. Nobody gonna know.
It's us or them.
Wow.
Nice try.
No fail. What? You know what? Over it.
Soil and stone. Nice try.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Nice.
slow.
Hell yeah. Of course.
Nice try.
Come on. There we go. Totally first try. Yeah, I probably wasn't supposed to fight that thing yet. Considering those two.
Back to sleep with you.
Ugh. Anyways, back to where we're supposed to be going. Oh right, there was a side quest here too.
The most fragrant herbs and spices.
Gone, just like that. And without so much as a by your leave.
What's the matter?
It's my apprentice. He up and vanished while my back was turned. I'd go and look for him myself, but I've got a bakery to run. A bakery that's now short one pair of hands. Loath though I am to rely on the kindness of strangers, I'm at a loss. Please, will you see if you can find him?
Yeah. Even though your voice doesn't really look like it fits you.
Do you know where he might have gone?
Usually be a little like deeper tone, a little more gruff.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was off somewhere mooning at Drake's Fang. He used to work there, you see. Poor fool left his heart in its hollow.
All right. Then that's where I'll start.
Okay. Let's just cut some of the travel time out here.
Good girl. Faster!
We definitely lose some time on that fight. Are you also, were you not the Blade of the Nine or whatever? 9 Knives, that's what it is. Alright. Just menacingly standing in the way, that's fine.
My blade yet hungers, and so do I. That's feast on the flesh.
Your feasting days are over.
Oh, that's alright. Thanks. Appreciate you walking into that. Well. Oof. Alright, guess I missed that. Nope. Nailed it. That hunt was completely unintentional, but we take those.
Those who kill for sport deserve no better.
I'll be right with you in a second. I see an item in the corner. Alright, you. What you need?
Excuse me.
What do you want?
The baker sent me to find you.
I am a sorry, selfish sod, aren't I? I'm certainly not a baker. Master must have ruled the day he took me in. Time was the sight of the fang used to calm my nerves. But now look at her.
I take it you missed the Mother Crystal.
I hated her, but she was all I knew. Worked her mines for years. And when she shattered, part of me shattered with her. I had to trade my pickaxe for a rolling pin, but I'm no good at baking. Every loaf I touch collapses. My bread's as hollow as I am. She was the only thing that could fill the hole inside me. Oh, I loved her, damn it. But now she's gone. She's never coming back. What am I supposed to do? I ask her. How does a shell of a man learn to live again?
Perhaps you could express yourself in your work. If you miss the fang, maybe you could recapture it somehow.
Recapture it? I'm a baker, not a... You know, you might just be right. What a fool I've been! I have to get back to the bakery right away. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. You've opened my eyes.
You what I do?
Wait. Suppose you won't be needing an escort then.
You know, for safe measure, I should make sure no other bounties on the way back then, shouldn't I? Well, at least I stumbled upon the one. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's too many problems on this road today. No more issues over here. Good.
Back to the stables, girl.
Good job.
Are you looking for something in particular?
Yep. Oh. Gotta stock back up on this, because,
My thanks.
well, you know, they beat me up.
An excellent choice. My thanks. An excellent choice.
Just in case.
Here you are.
Made from the stoutest stoneware.
Oh, where did all the men fall?
Ah, there you are. The man who lit a fire under my wayward apprentice. Though I worry you might have stoked the flames a little too high. He damn near ran me down trying to get to my oven.
Master, it's ready. Behold the Drake's Balm. A truly unique creation.
I dare say it is.
Just look at it. A perfect likeness of the Fang herself. Her steepled peaks, her fulsome spurs, her inviting hollow. True, my loaves collapse more often than not, but what's the Fang without her crater? Why, no Fang at all. And look, inside. She's filled to bursting with a bounty of beautiful crystals. Salt crystals! Master, I have found my purpose. I must use my work here to preserve the memory of the Fang.
Well, if it tastes half as unique as it looks, I'd certainly say you're onto something. Not only is my apprentice back, but he's finally pulling his weight. With any luck, I might even have a new delicacy on my hands. I don't know how you did it, but you have my thanks.
Okay. How's that? A bandit's bed, huh?
Now, Dusan, I know you're...
My carpets have pride of place.
Looks like I found the river. Now where's Otto?
Howdy, Otto.
Otto. Sorry I'm late.
Oh, Clive. I had a quick scout about, and I reckon this area's our best bet. Seems Blackthorn's the only one who thinks smithing with this Stardust stuff's a good idea. It's just lying here, waiting for any old fool to fill his boots.
But unlike any old fool, you thought to bring a wagon.
Well spotted. Now get filling.
So this is Stardust. It just looks like black sand to me.
We got more over here. Okay. Oh wow, it washed up way high, huh?
That should be enough for now. Let's see how Otto's getting on.
I love the low res chocobos. Severe land.
How much did you get?
Enough. I hope.
I got 5.
More than me. Put it all together and I can't see Blackthorn complaining. Much. Here, Clive. Do you fancy a walk? Sid would be proud.
Of what?
Of you, you idiot. The way you've carried on what he started. When we first met, I had you down as a spoilt little puppy who enjoyed nothing more than biting the hand that fed you. But 5 years on, you're the one doing the feeding. So thanks for proving me wrong.
You weren't wrong. But I changed. Thanks to Sid. And thanks to you. When I suggested taking on his name, you were the first to back me. And if you hadn't, no one else would have. I couldn't have done any of this without you, Otto.
Don't give over. You're making me blush. All I did was choose hope over despair. I gave you a chance, yes, but you're the one who took it. You took a rabble of homeless, hopeless outcasts and put them back on their feet. Gave them something worth fighting for, just like the old Sid did. About time I was heading back, I reckon. All this scrabbling about in the sand's taken its toll on the old pins.
I'll see you back at the hideaway then. You can take a well-earned rest when you get there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. But I'll make sure Blackthorn gets his precious black sand before I put my feet up. He'll only moan otherwise.
Right. Ready to go home, boy?
Wonder if there is any more hunts in here. A lot to this area. I mean... Oh. I would have to actually look at the map to know what I'm doing. We'll head back. We'll see what we can do for Blackthorn next, and we'll figure out where we're going from there.
Let's hope this is all Blackthorn needs.
Well, seeing how it says letting off Steam 1, I doubt it.
How'd you lot get on? I brought back all that stuff Blackthorn asked for. How'd you lot get on?
There you are. Blackthorn's got his precious stardust, in case you were wondering.
Blackthorn, got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
Nice to get out and about for once. Let's do it again sometime, eh?
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating together then. It'll take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, I could do without you breathing down my neck.
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's underway.
Okay.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work too.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
That works. While I go report back to Mid, I can probably get a better idea of where the things actually are.
We're seeing troops amassing at every border.
Alright, we'll talk to Mid first, and then we'll come back and do it all.
If I don't come up with something soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn started work on the plating.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but impossible to work.
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name? Right.
Oh, Sid, is this about the helm?
Yes. Mid said I should speak with you.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is burned to generate heat. That heat is then harnessed to produce motive force. Excess heat is dealt with by means of the thermal displacement stack, which disperses it into the surrounding air. Now, were we to rely on thermal plating alone to achieve this effect, the rate of excess heat buildup would far exceed the displacement coefficient of the plating. In other words, the reactor would overheat and eventually explode. This is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all that excess energy. Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are remarkably thermophilic. They can withstand and absorb levels of heat far above anything we are able to make today. And not only that, they're also waterproof and immune to rust, making them the perfect material for our protective hood. Why, if sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there. I understand. Mid said we might be able to use parts of a fallen ruin. Where would I find it?
Ah, yes. It's in Lorbert's Pass, near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there. It's no longer a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid.
That's
I'll
an
gather
easy
my
mission.
team and head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins.
I think Mid might need some help tidying up.
So there was a couple still in the desert, I think. Alright. So just the desert? It's probably the top part. Fields of Corva, huh? Oh. Wow, so I was literally right beside the ball. Got it. Oh, I got one of these.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon. Your benefactors are a generous lot.
Ability
You earned
points?
this.
Hell yeah.
Best of luck out there.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make our way over there in a minute. I have no idea where the one in the nether is going to be, so we'll leave that for now. But I got a pretty straightforward explanation of where these two were.
Let's go.
Okay, so once into the tunnel, there'll be another path. There should be a right turn here somewhere. Oh, not yet. Got it. There we go. This should be it. What, a saber tooth, something like that over here? Well, this looks like a dead end, so we'll head this way first. Since I see the fields of wherever the hell the other thing was.
Be safe.
All right. Good job, Torgal. Path branched off again. Well, we got another small path, so let's hit it up. Oh, I just put break card, huh? Oh, why not rob it? This looks like a boss arena. But I don't CA boss.
Right.
Stay down!
Oh wow, there's more? Alright. And sprint. Oh my god, I'm just fighting Red 13.
Playtime for the pack, is it? Let me introduce you to mine.
Let's just get rid of you quickly. That's not totally not Fenrir. He's gonna handle it. Doing it again. Nailed it. Defeated by Star Platinum. Damn.
That wasn't too bad, was it, Torgal?
Good girl.
Alright, and then we have one more off to the right, and then we probably can fit in that last mission there too. I should have probably cranked out this whole mid mission at once, but it is what it is. That one's the field. I don't know what's that one. So. Oh, did I not give me that item?
Enough of you, are there?
Oh, lovely. A big open area. Do I even know what I'm looking for in this area? You look big and angry. Let's see if you trigger the...
This won't be easy.
Maybe the ruins? Oh, wait, no, it absolutely is that thing. Empty, horrible. Okay, I'm shut it. Oh! Yeah,
Straight
it's
home
probably
now.
good things. You know what? I have a feeling like Titan's not gonna be the most helpful in the world to me here. So let's swap him out for now. Oh.
They don't look happy.
Ouch. Well. Not what I needed. Oh my god. Sick of these bugs. Oh, so it's gotta be at least this desert. I'm not going looking for it, but...
Peace at last.
Anyway, it's on to go help Mid.
I'll be taking you all to a storehouse in the Bales. Leave anything you don't need behind.
God. I have left this place in a very bad state,
If you're
haven't I?
ready, we leave at once.
Like, I can help.
Come on. Faster!
I feel like I may have to follow up on that at some point, though. Anyways.
All right. Be safe.
Sorry, folks.
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll be right back.
Bing, bang, boom.
Anybody home?
Oh. Okay.
This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go.
I forgot how annoying you were to fight. Torgal, you wanna give me a hand here? Alright. Alright, this is over. Yeah. Gets a bunch of cheap shots in his eye.
The things I do for you, Mid.
Sid! Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
Another one done. What is part 3? Bringing it back. So the only hunt remaining is the black boulder. Yeah.
If I don't come up with something soon.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prison for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Hippocrates.
Tomes? Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him, see what he makes of it?
Right away.
Yeah, totally already thought of that. Definitely aren't just your scribblings trying to figure it out, right? Oh, another reward. Alright. My little wiggly buddy. What do we got left? Just the boulder, right? Yeah.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper.
Ah! Hit the wrong button.
How may I help you today, Chloe? You earned this. Best of luck out there, Sid.
We're seeing troops amassing at every corner.
Because everyone's at war. We're just vibing in the middle. Hello! I return once more.
Hippocrates, do you have a moment?
For you, Clive? Always.
Well, actually, it's for Mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
For Mid, you say? Well, I'm out.
mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine, she's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obelus complains that without a constant supply of pitch. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew. It is said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames. Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragon fire.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obelus might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Hippocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Always. Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your capable hands, Clive.
Shielding that guards against even the most ferocious flames. We could have done with some of that on Drustinus.
I doubt I would have survived that place with or without it. A trip to Northreach, though, I think either of us could handle.
Shielding that guards against even the most ferocious.
So, Clive, have you made your decision? Who will accompany you on your little excursion?
I think I will take Jill, since, you know.
Very well. So then, what do we need to find?
I have taken the liberty of preparing a list. Here.
White chocobo eggs. Pepio nuts. Are you sure this list is right? Everything on here seems very edible. I would have thought the ingredients would be a little more exotic.
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely exploited, effects for which they were once highly prized. So much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction, hence moon dews having fallen from favor. Now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find everything you need at the market in Northreach.
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway. I'll set out now. Join me there when you're ready.
I will. Until then.
You two enjoy yourselves.
You too, Talia.
Yeah, she pissed him and leaving her behind, and who better to know how to mix chemicals than doctor. So, let's go.
Now, where's Jill?
You can try and finish this if you'd like.
Do you see anything you like?
You opened it, it's your problem.
Come back again.
Keep them pilchards nice and chilled.
Are those Pepio nuts?
How goes the hunt for ingredients?
I've only just started. I'm sure everything we need is somewhere amongst all these stalls, though. Why don't we split up and see? We'll take a couple of ingredients each.
All right. What am I looking for?
How about you look for the Pepio nuts and some garlic? I'll find the other things we need. We can meet by the gate when we're finished.
And the white chocobo nut are eggs.
Up! You'll not find a bruised pippin in the bush.
Fresh cuts. Come and get them before they're gone.
What are you
What
gonna
can I
have?
interest you in today? Ah, yes. You're always welcome here in Lostwing.
What? This ain't Lost Wing.
There's talk that the Glassgate flood has finally spread to the world.
What do you want?
Aren't you friendly?
If that's what you want. And
That's everything. Let's see how Jill's getting on.
Did you find everything?
Yeah.
I did. Here.
And what did you collect?
Garlic and Pepio nuts. Perfect. Now all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this into what Mid needs to keep her engine cool. But before we head back, would you walk with me a while? Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells?
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go racing away and we'd have to go running after him. We wouldn't catch you now, would we, boy?
Was there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Well, sort of. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells particularly good pies. Thought you might like to share one with me.
I would. Thank you.
And I saw some bread. Big white cobs like the baker back in Rosalith used to make. What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. But then I tried a slice of the butcher's dry-cured ham and it was just, oh.
You all right?
Sorry. It's just, you're right. I really do feel like a child again being here with you. Clive. Is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. And it's how our lives will be when our work is finally done. When we can live on our own terms.
I hope so. Thank you, Clive.
Come on, this is the one chance you get where nobody's gonna interrupt you. You don't even go for it. We just stand over her, menacingly.
Well, I suppose we best be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
Tori was like, I didn't see nothing. All right. We'll see what handing this in does for us. And we'll probably call it a part there.
Hippocrates is getting on with the moon dew.
Oh, I'm never drinking.
How's work on the shielding progressing, Hippocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Talia how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course. Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice just being with you.
And Torgal.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Hippocrates.
Level up. Nice.
Well, I'd better go and give Mid the good news then.
All right. I guess with that, we'll call this part done. So, bye YouTube.